78.6 FM Yomaton, positive vibes with Winsome. Hey, it's wonderful to be back. I can't even tell you how excited I am. Wanted to adjust my mic real quick. Can I tell you how excited I am to be back on the radio and speaking to you about what's been going on this past week? And it's not about what's going on with, like, say, the elections and things in the world and all that stuff. Just some cool stories about how the week has been. Just another amazing week. Good and bad, whatever the stories are. We survived another week. We woke up another day. We have another beautiful day to explore, adventure, and do something different. And it's Saturday. Man, we made it to Saturday. 78.6 FM, positive vibes with Winsome. I want to give a shout out to everybody. You know, we do the first segment is always the thank you segment, right? So to say thank you to everyone who's been a part of the show, supporting the show, encouraging sponsors, folks who've actually been pushing the messages out from here, I just want to say thank you. Of course, we start off with Flatter Leadership Academy, coming back to Okinawa, Team Flatter, and it's been amazing in part of my journey. Your part and your piece in my story has been beyond. I can't even put the words together to tell you how much I appreciate you. Free Period Press, always thank you for the journals, the self-care journals, the gifts we give out after every appearance. Thank you for supporting us and encouraging as well. Trainers Warehouse, always got to say thank you to Trainers Warehouse. And I really appreciate how much you've encouraged, inspired me through the tools that you've created to be a better facilitator, instructor, and teacher. So for that, Trainers Warehouse, got to give out our weekly shout out to you. And last but not least, I can't forget two very special things happened this week. Before I forget, other individuals, of course, right? Mark Tilsher, the Sherpa, military Sherpa, and supporting our programs throughout the year. And all of the speakers that have come in and always mess this up. And I don't want to forget anybody. So next Saturday, I need to come up with a full list. But just from all the speakers, from Mr. Keith Abraham, and you can just go on and on for everyone who's given their time. We've had masterclass series, or the folks like Robert Glazier who allowed us create programs and actual courses based on the concepts in their books. Dr. Travis Bradbury. I can go on and on. Talent Smart, supporting us, encouraging us, spending time and efforts into making sure that we build and we're doing things that actually make sense to our communities and not just for the sake of doing them. I want to say thank you to all of these people. We have a special birthday from Miss Sina-san. Sina, happy birthday. And in case you didn't get this on video, I'm going to say it again. Sina-san, happy birthday. I would sing happy birthday to you, but, you know, I don't want to just do that on the radio time. So sing happy birthday after this. So happy birthday to Miss Sina-san today. I don't know how old she is. I always get it wrong. I'm not going to tease her. 33, 34, something. Anyway, we're going on to my friend Curtis Chase. Also, so happy birthday, Miss Sina-san. Curtis Chase, my brother, and who just left Japan and who was a part of our development advisor team. I can speak on all the things I do out here on the side. All my, what we tease and joke and call them side quests, right? I can joke about those and say these things exist. But in my other side of my world, my day job and the crew that we support each other, the team that I'm a part of here in this region are the development advisors. And I want to say real quick to the development advisor team, of course, thank you guys. But we had some really amazing news drop this week. And our brother, Curtis Chase, who's now in the United States, just left here, was picked up to become an officer in the United States military, United States Air Force to be exact. So congratulations, Curtis, on your selection. And I can tell you, out of everyone in my circle, no matter how many times I go around it and look at people and what they're doing with their worlds, man, that spot fits. It's well-deserved. We're all proud of you, and I can't wait to see what you do next. And I can't wait to be a part of that journey in any capacity because I'm just blessed to be a part of your story up to this point. Can't wait to see what you do with it. So, quick shout out to those people. Quick sending love to my friends. Happy birthday and congratulations, Curtis. My people out there, man, I'm so proud of what you guys have been doing. What do we say? Keep showing up. right? From birthdays to selections to goals getting met to dreams being reality this week. I just want to say keep showing up. I'm proud of you. Everything about your journey is amazing. Everything about what you've accomplished is because you put the work in. So keep showing up. Shout out to my teammate Jacob, and I'm going to send him this clip after. I spend this first clip, and I usually spend a lot of times with gratitude. So again, thank you to all of the companies we mentioned, all the support we have. Thank you to my team out here, the development advisors. I love you guys. Congratulations, Curtis. Happy birthday, Sina-san. Now let's launch this bad boy off, right? Jacob. So I have a teammate who I know he has goals to become a life coach later. And so I watch him in action a lot. I sit back, and if you guys don't know me, I save a lot of this information, the way I approach the communities and the way I approach audiences. I save a lot of that for when it's time. When it's opportunities to grow others, and just like my team, everybody on our team is growing, learning, developing, and we're pouring into other people on a weekly basis. But I have one young man who's truly gone above and beyond what we call pouring into others and giving back to the communities. All month, all year, consistently, every day, he keeps showing up. Now, I sit down, and there's a lot of leaders who don't do this, right? They're too busy. But anytime my team walks in my door, anytime someone sits down, I'll stop time for them. They know this, and I love them. And I tell them this every day, even if they don't want to hear it, and even if they don't say it back, I tell them how much I appreciate them and love them, how proud of them I am, especially when they're doing amazing things for our community. But this young man is amazing. He's very special. And I'm loving the growth, development, the quick turn, and the fact that we hired him, it makes me very proud. No matter where we're sitting in this region, doesn't matter because the team that we have is special. This young man, he was telling me some things and sharing some things with me, and I'm watching him taking care of others, and I'm watching how he's pouring into others. And one of the things he wanted to be later in life is a professional coach, a real coach, life coach, be able to do all kind of coaching. It's what we do. The community who's listening in, who shares these messages every weekend, that's what we do. But to see somebody doing it at such a young age, to see somebody with the same aspirations and the same passion at such a young age, it's encouraging for me. It's empowering to watch that. It's inspiring, should I say, to see that. And some people that they don't realize how much you need them as much as they need you, right? So I'm human. I go through every week just like anybody else. I'm going to get upset at things. I'm going to be happy about things. I'm going to have to navigate emotions. I'm going to have to be wise about how I approach them. And a lot of times, a lot of other leaders, they don't share thought processes. There's others who want to force being stoic. They always got the answers, but they go through the same process just differently. For me, I'm very open with my team, especially when it's teammates that I can trust with it, that it have a balanced thought process that can actually digest the information and not be unbiased to it. I love that because the feedback is so important to me. And this young man is special. So I'm going to say a shout out to Jacob for what you've done for our community in the little bit of time that we've had you. What you've done for our team, with our team, your inputs, your consistency is just as important to us, to me, as you might realize or think it's important to you. I want to say to you, keep showing up. We need you. Survive this typhoon because we need you next week. But sometimes bosses don't take the time in their off time to tell their folks how much they appreciate them, how much they are also inspired by their efforts. And this is one young man, as I'm blessed to have him on my team. I'm amazed to see what all of my team members do every single week, in and out. And some pretty interesting moves coming up for us in the next couple of weeks. But it's nothing that's going to keep us from having the same impact on our community. And I told them this week, it doesn't matter where we're sitting. If I was moving with any other group, it probably wouldn't be as easy to digest. But the fact that I have this team in this moment, right now, with this move, means everything to me. Because I know that we're going to make magic happen. And I know we're going to continue to take care of the community. 78.6 FM, Positive Vibes of Winsome. Today we're talking about showing up. Showing up. Then I'm going to talk to you guys after we talk about showing up about some things to kind of avoid the traps of in life. And when I say that, I mean what's happening and what goes around you that kind of distracts you from your goal, from your dream, from your vision, from that target that you have for yourself. How to avoid those distractions. So with the next 4 minutes or so, I want to talking about keep showing up. So last year we had a couple of fights in our day job that it just took a lot out of me. And it's important because I really teach the importance of knowing when to take a knee. And when I say knowing when to take a knee to me means knowing when to take a day off, when to reset, when to call timeout, when to get your own space, get space away from a situation so you can see it differently, so you can see it clearly. How to take a step back before you take those next steps forward and look at it from both sides, different perspective. We're teaching this. And sometimes when you're thrust into it, it's kind of hard to remember all the steps that I just mentioned. It's kind of hard to internalize that because emotions get in the way. Your ego sometimes gets in the way. So we had some fights last year, and it's funny. One of my friends told me that sometimes when there's a lesson that you need to learn, you're going to continue to get reminded of that because similar things or the same thing will continue to happen over time, over and over, until you figure out how to solve that problem. This friend of mine is very spiritual, very religious, so he likes to pull from scripture, right, from the Bible and talks about these things. And he told me, he said, it's written right here where it says these things will keep coming at you all the time until you figure out what the message is and how to face it the right way. So this round, similar fights, similar battles, similar decision making, it's action time. And again, for me, I'm trying to avoid the same emotional hijacking that I had before. And I did something different this time. Instead of trying to swing by myself and relying on the same people I always do, I hit up different people, got different feedback. I included my team in the decision and steps. I took everybody's inputs, and then I took a step back. And for me, I'm learning these steps, and I took a step back. And I said, I'm good at fighting. I love fighting. I used to be a fighter. That's all I wanted to do was fight battles, like being a lawyer. I wanted to do that for my life. But this week I realized that not everything and not every fight, not every situation requires a response. And especially not the response that the other side of this expects or wants from you. And when you don't give the reaction that's expected or wanted and you show growth, it changes everything. You can be the same person you were a year ago, or you can change and you can be different. Because my worst fear in life, when I reflect and I think about it, is being the same person that I was 1 year ago. Shoot, sometimes even being the person I was yesterday bothers me because I'm not showing growth, I'm not showing development, I'm not showing the wisdom that I should have taken from those experiences. I'm not like every leader around me. I know that my heart is different, and I know my vision and my experiences make me different. I'm not the most educated leader around me, but I know that I learned what I need to take care of the communities that I'm responsible for and myself and my family. So when I say this, even when I don't feel like it, I keep showing up. Even when I don't have the answers, I keep showing up. Even when I'm tired, I keep showing up. Even when other people don't expect me to, I know I have to keep showing up. So I give this to you. No matter what you're going through in life, it'll get better. Keep showing up. No matter what you feel like you lack or don't have today, keep showing up because you might find opportunities to gain or to have those tomorrow. Keep showing up. Even when you don't feel like getting up and doing it, keep showing up. You don't feel like working out, get in the gym. You don't feel like eating right, do it because you know you need to. You don't feel like feeding your mind with positive things, keep showing up. Keep doing it because you know that's what you need for your life. When your energy doesn't seem like it's there, find those breaks in your day to keep showing up, not just for yourself, but for the people that matter to you, the people you love, and the person that you're trying to be tomorrow. Keep showing up. We'll be right back right after this break. 78.6 FM, Positive Vibes of Winston. We're back. For the first segment, I sent my shout-outs like I always do. I wanted to say my thank yous. My birthday, hello, happy birthday, Sina-san, Curtis Chase. Congratulations, my brother. It's been a wonderful week to hear great news. No matter what negative has been going on with this week, being able to find the positives in this week, being able to understand that no matter how bad today might seem, there was something in there that's positive that I can pull away from. There's different energy in the negativity that you just have to look for and search for. That word gratitude is something magical. That's a whole show in itself. But I want to talk about some things you want to avoid in your life when you're trying to be the best version of you. I mentioned my teammate Jacob earlier, and again, this is based on some of the conversations we had this week, not about him, but just some of the information that was in the universe, and I loved it because when I'm getting my mind set up for this show, when I'm getting my mind set up for what we're going to talk about, I think about those conversations I have with my people and with my team and with my friends and with my mentors, and I bring all that in here, and I'm like, yo, this is information we can't just keep on the phone. This isn't stuff that we can just keep on text messages. We got to share this information because there are people that don't get this every day. There are people, we've been listening and paying attention. There are rooms full of people without mentors. There are rooms full of people without mentors. We go through class and we always ask at the end of the class, who in this room does not have a mentor? And just last week we did it. I want to say out of about 38 people, 7 people raised their hand and said they had one. So we offer it up. And so when you don't have those in your life, you're kind of missing some key elements, which is guidance, direction, feedback, care, all these things that really matter when someone is trying to grow, and the stuff that you need to know what your blind spots are. You need to know what direction you're going in, because you might be saying you're doing one thing, but you're actually doing another. So I say all this to say there's traps that you fall into. There's things that'll happen to you if you don't pay attention. There are people, and I'll start off with number one. There are people who are stuck in their past. What does that mean, stuck in their past? When it's like they go back in time and don't catch up? No, there are people who emotionally and mentally are stuck in the same place they were when they were a teenager or a child. And a lot of people, they don't realize that they're stuck in the same space mentally and emotionally because they're just moving. But when things happen to them, when they're going through and navigating situations, life stories, relationships, they're pulling from this back out here. Back in their childhood, they're pulling from things that happened when they were teenagers, that trauma, the negativity, those stories, those people that affected their lives. They've never got past it, never got over it. So their past is keeping them from moving forward. Or it creeps his head up in when that person is actually moving in the right direction. Imagine someone who, because people doubted him his entire life, he starts doubting himself, he or she. Imagine he or she could be living an amazing vision of a life. Instead, they're worried about what everyone used to say about them and telling them what a vision should look like. Imagine the person that's blaming that last relationship for not progressing in the current one. Imagine the person that's blaming family members and the way they were treated, or friends that acted a certain way, and they're blaming the way they treat others now on that. Let me tell you a secret. Every moment that you live is yours. Every day you wake up and you open your eyes and you walk and step into that day, you choose how you step into that day. You can walk into that day wanting to be a blessing for someone else, wanting to be uplifting, encouraging, like I do, educate someone, encourage someone, inspire someone. If you want to go into your day and that's your goal, cool. Because guess what happens? You are going to embody that if you live for that, if that's your purpose. But if you wake up still worried about what someone else thinks or thought of you, you wake up not wanting to make moves because of how it's affected you years ago. You wake up without seeking the help, counsel, and therapy of somebody to help you navigate those traumas of your past so you can live your best future. you wake up without seeking that help, then you're never going to progress forward. So I say there's a lot of people who are held hostage from their past, who can't even see what their future looks like because the pain of the past keeps drawing them back. I tell you, at some point in time, you got to stop blaming. At some point in time, you got to take accountability for your life. You got to take responsibility for your life. You got to say, you know what? I don't care what happened yesterday. Today is my day. So next year, next 5 years, the next move is up to me. I cannot blame yesterday on what I choose to do today. I love telling people you're not bound to be the same person that you were yesterday, today. If you walk in and say you want to be this or you're going to do this, that's what you choose now. Instead of saying, hey, but we haven't been doing that. That's not the way I usually wrote. That doesn't matter. Who's showing up today? Who's the person that you choose to be consistently moving forward? What does that look like to you? I had a friend telling me she's making decisions in her life based on how she was raised and things she went through and experienced. She wants to make different changes in the world and make the world a better place. I think that's beautiful because now you're taking that energy from your past. You want to keep people from feeling the negative parts of that, and you're trying to build something to help others grow. So you're using that energy, not allowing that energy to limit you. There's others. What is your why? What is your purpose? A lot of people's purpose is based on, a lot of times, what they've been through, navigated, experience, and they want to protect others from it. You ever hear that person that says, I don't want anyone else to do or feel the way I felt? How many people do you think that are millionaires, that give money back to charities, that give money back to certain causes? There's a reason they do this. They do that because they've experienced something, saw something, or heard news and stories in their life that broke their heart. And so based on those experiences, thoughts, and what they saw or heard, they don't want others to feel that pain. So they throw money at it because they can. Hey, I'm going to send this $1 million over to X so that they can, do X. Because that's their way of giving back. They can't be there physically. They may not represent it on behind the screen or on camera, but they still donate to the cause. But what about the people who created that cause? What started them off on that path? Not just to say, I want to create something. No, there was a reason they made that company, that nonprofit organization, whatever it is, there's a reason they started it. And when you peel the onion back, you realize it was something that affected them somewhere. And instead of being held hostage to it, ignoring it, they wanted to do something about it. So I'm using all of this to tell you, don't let your past hold you hostage from where you're going and what you're doing next. Now, if you can take all of this information, the pain, the good things, the bad things, and you realize that part of your purpose in life is to build something with that, then do that. But to make decisions or affect other people in a negative way because of things that happen to you negatively is being held hostage, is being a prisoner. And you might need to sit down with someone to navigate those pains and those traumas so you're not taking them out on others. There are people that take those out on those they work with. There are people that take those out on relationships that they're in. There are people that take their traumas out on their children. There are people who take those traumas out on other people's children, animals. Listen to what I'm telling you. Don't allow your past to hold you hostage. Don't allow your past to keep you from growing. Don't allow your past to make you into a monster. You can be someone else's dream person because people are watching you. Your steps, when they see what you survived, when they see what you've overcome, and they see that you've turned that into something amazing, when they see that you've overcome, you survived your worst days and you're still standing and you're using that energy and you're passing that into others, you're helping uplift other people, you're building something up, you're creating something for others. You are putting back into the world what the world tried to take away from you. When you see that you have that ability, when people see that you have that power, that you've created that power for yourself, you are becoming something that not a lot of people are able to. A lot of people are stuck. You got past it. You got over it or under it or around it. You became something that a lot of people will never become in their life, and that's free. Free from your past so you can build the best version of you for everybody else, not just yourself. 78.6 FM, Positive Vibes with Winsome. Hey, I don't know what it is today, man. I must have woke up and had a little different energy, right? It's birthday day. Curtis has some good news. Hey, we got some great stuff going on today. But I wanted to talk to you about being held hostage to your past because it's not fair for you and it's not fair for anybody you care about in any aspect of your life. Keep moving forward. Keep showing up. Let that go. Sit down with someone if you need to navigate whatever you've been dealing with, holding on to, that's been keeping you from being the best version of you. Don't let your past, people, places, or things that happen keep you from being the best version of you today and moving forward. And what does that look like? It's one of my favorite questions. We're going to talk about that before we leave today. But what does that even look like? Not just because you say it is or the vision you have for yourself right now, but with everything you've built, everything you have, everything you've created, everything that you see in front of you, what does it look like? And if it's blurry right now, you don't have a clear target to your dream, to your goal, to your vision, to that person you're supposed to become. If it's blurry, you can't tell me how much money you're making, what your clothes look like, what your car looks like, where you're living. If it's blurry, what you're doing with your life, what your career looks like, what you're passionate about. If it's blurry, you're not there yet. You still got work to do. And that's okay, because when your past gets in the way and holding you back, it's kind of hard to see what's in front of you. And if you keep looking back, as I love to say, every time you keep looking back, all you're doing is hurting your neck. 78.6 FM, Positive Vibes with Winsome. We're talking about not allowing the past to hold you hostage from your future. We'll be right back after this break. We're going to talk about the opinions of others. .6 FM, Positive Vibes with Winsome. All right, so we just talked about the past, not allowing the past to hold you hostage from your future. And one thing that's also important to keep in mind, to not keep you from your future and to not keep you from the vision, dreams, or goals that you have for yourself are other people's opinions and judgment. Are you kidding me right now? Let's talk about it. Let's go back in time so we can go forward. I've been in the United States military, Air Force, for about 26 years. We'll talk about experience, just years. But the positions, the opportunities, the roles that I've had to play in the past 26 years are some that I would have never imagined when I got started. But that's just the military, and that doesn't define me. That's just a part of me. It's what I do, what I chose to raise my hand and serve and do. But it's the side quests. The side quests. And my side quests start back in school. So some of you heard this story, some of you haven't. So when I started my athletic career, when I was younger, I was a chubby kid. And as a chubby kid, I would watch sports on TV. I didn't have a dad around to play catch with me, to throw the ball, to talk to mentor, to give me ideas, to call, to reach out to when I was going through things and struggling. I didn't have that. I had my mom, who was a single mom taking care of 3 kids, and she had her own struggles going on. So a lot of it was all personal and individual survival, and I was a chubby kid. No matter what my mom had going on, she had food in the fridge. Right? And it always wasn't the most extravagant. We didn't have the name brand stuff. We had the government cheese, what they used to call back in the day, where you can make grilled cheese sandwiches based on food the government gave and packaged out and used to hand out to the families. We didn't have all the breasts. We had the bread that only lasted for like a day and a half before it went bad. We had to make do, but we learned to survive, and we never thought twice about it because we did still have food on the table. We didn't have Cheerios. We had O's or Honey O's, whatever, like the off-brand of Cheerios. We didn't have corn flakes. We had flakes of corn. Whatever the off-brand was of these things we had, we survived. We ate it. We loved it because we had food on the table. But I'm going to tell you, as that kid eating that food, as a little chubby kid, watching TV and seeing sports versus going out and actually doing it was eye-opening. I finally convinced my mom at 9 years old to let me play football. When I went out there to play football, because of my size, my little chubbiness, the first thing the coach wanted to do was make me a lineman. Now, if you guys don't know, a lineman isn't the most athletic person on the field. A lineman, people don't even know their names half the time. They're just protecting the people who everybody does know their name, right? The running backs, the receiver, the quarterback. That's who the linemen are protecting. So they wanted me just to be that guy, stand up there and get knocked over and beat up for the next couple of hours. And I hated it. I was going home watching the Emmitt Smiths and the Barry Sanders running and playing, and yet the coach wanted me to be a lineman and judge me. This is what you need to be doing based on the body skill and your movements. This is who you need to do. Nobody ever gave me feedback, taught me how to lose the weight, any of that. So I was getting beat up that first year I went out there, and my head was out of it. I allowed the opinions, people calling me chubby, fat guy, chubby cheeks. I allowed that to get in my head, and I didn't want to play football because I didn't feel appreciated, understood, or valued out there. I just felt like I was a body getting beat up. So from 9 years old all the way till probably what was my freshman year, right? That's exactly how long I took off from football. One season, probably half of that season, all the way to my freshman year in high school. Now let's talk about what happened from 9 years old to freshman year. I was getting talked about, chubby, little guy. I was a nobody, 100%. Had a lot of energy, had a lot of friends in different circles because I was a friendly kid. My mom raised us right to be good, respectful. But you know what I was doing behind the scenes? The little syrup that they use to make juice, I was using those little syrup containers, and once they were emptied, I would fill them up with sand. And you know what? I heard a story about Herschel Walker and his workouts. Herschel Walker didn't go to the gym. We couldn't afford to go to the gym. So what I was doing was I was filling those up with sand and working out with sand containers. And I was just repping them until I was hitting burnout. I was doing off the wall workouts, like little, lunges and pull-ups and everything else. Everything with no gym required. I was doing this based on what I had read and seen from movies and articles. So they're wondering why I'm in the library and what I'm looking at. I'm trying to see how I can get in shape because I didn't want to be the fat kid that wasn't valued or appreciated on the football field. I want to be able to pick the sport that I want to and be the best at it because athletes seem like they were having fun. They were part of a community. I want to be a part of that. So what I did was I lost the weight. I started going to the community center. I started working out at night. I remember when I came back one year in middle school, I want to say it was even my 8th grade year, or 7th grade year. And when I came back after that summer was over, people were like, whoa, where's Andy? That's what they called me. Where's Andy? It's funny because I worked. I didn't even realize what I was doing. I just knew what my vision was. My vision was to be able to get back on the field, be fast, be slim, be agile. I was still missing some pieces. I didn't have anybody to throw the ball to me, so my hands weren't the greatest. I can't throw hands up. Jerry Rice had his dad throwing bricks at him. I had nobody. Even my friends' dads were playing with them, but that energy seems so off when you got somebody else's dad trying to spend quality time with their son, and then some random man, just a kid, walks up hoping to play catch with you. And not everybody's receptive to that, especially not the other son or the son. So as I'm navigating this and taking in all this, and I had internalized all this what other people said. You're not going to make the track team. You're not going to make the football team because all of these guys have been playing together for years. My 9th grade year, I stepped out there anyway. I was faster. I was quicker. I was more agile. I didn't have the weight hold me back. Still getting talked about. Why? Because I didn't have the hands that those other kids had. I had to learn that on the fly. So my first year out there, I was playing running back. I just hold the ball and run. And I loved it. That community opened up to me because I was now understanding it more. I was listening different. I was paying attention not just to the position I was bound to play, but how all the positions aligned. I told the coach, I haven't played football since I was 9. So his approach to me was different because he saw something in me. He said, you fast, you got the build for a running back, you can come out here. And that's what I wanted. I wanted just to be seen as something different and not told what I was going to be doing based on what I couldn't control at the time or didn't understand. So I stopped that summer that I blocked out the noise and just started focusing. I realized something amazing, that I can actually control what happens if I focus on what's within my control. Not what everybody else is doing, not what everybody else is saying or talking about. What was in my control was to get in shape. What was in my control was to pay attention, watch and navigate those positions that I was interested in, and then go out there and shoot for them. Not the little chubby kid with no speed, no kind of strength and stamina trying to play running back. So what ended up happening was something crazy. I remember the article that came out about me and Isaac Arroyo, who was another running back. It was saying, these are the two guys we're looking at. This is my freshman year. I'll never forget that. And then as I navigated, I took a year off. I took sophomore year off because I was more focused on school, the AVID program, keeping my grades up because I was off balance my freshman year. And I came back my junior year. It's just navigating that community, navigating that sport, blocking out the noise because I know I wasn't as good as the other kids yet, but I knew I could be. And where that took me is the crazy part. Where that took me was I might not be ready right now, but I'm going to get ready. I had an opportunity to play college ball from my senior year. Played a little bit of that. I still wanted to be better. So when I joined the military, joined the Air Force, I'm trying out for the community teams, the semi-pro teams. I continued to practice, to warm up, running routes with friends, getting my hands better. And it's crazy how that chubby 9-year-old lineman ended up being a 23-year-old receiver on the Texas All-Star team that year in San Antonio all the way up, and we played the All-Star game in Houston. And I remember that feeling, being the only player on the Texas All-Star team that year to score a touchdown. I went all out my way to try to get a video of that from everybody because for me, that was the moment that 9-year-old kid can look at this guy and say, wow, thank you. That 9-year-old kid can look at 23-year-old me who did the work. And that's exactly how that happened. I will never forget that moment. So to all the coaches, friends, teammates along the way that showed me love, that encouraged me, that reminded me that they used to call me pregame in college because I was the smallest guy. I'll never forget that. But I want to say thank you because without you, there were so many things that I probably would have never grown out of. A lot of doubt that probably would have continued to exist no matter how much work I put in the love that I was shown when I would show up. And that's why I tell even my family to this day and my teammates to keep showing up, because the best version of you is yet to come. I blocked out the noise of the people that doubted me. I blocked out the noise to the people who didn't believe that I could, because I had to believe first in my mind that I could. I had to believe that that version that I wanted to be could exist. The person I was seeing on TV, that those moves, those steps, those little tools that they had picked up along the way with probably the right coaches, the right training, that I could figure it out. And when I blocked out the noise, I promise you, when I finished, when I scored that touchdown, it was probably the craziest feeling in the world for me, and probably nobody else was as significant for them, because it's an all-star game. This is semi-pro. You know what I mean? This isn't like a big deal for them like it was for me. I ran into one of my high school teammates while I was there in Texas playing ball that year. Brian Gordon. And I remember crossing him. We both played the same position in high school. So I remember passing him on a different football team in Texas. Brian Gordon, a shout out for you. Brian probably had no idea how significant that moment was for me. Not just to see him on the field from California high school, but to see him in Texas. I believe we were in Austin, Texas that year, playing semi-pro football for two different teams, to walk across each other and to see one of my teammates, to give a hug to each other. Small world, but even smaller in statistically for that to happen. For us to be competing against each other at that level, at that state, at that moment was crazy. And then to know what happened that year at the end of my season, I'm amazed. I want to say thank you to Ivan Thomas, now Masai Defar, because out of all my teammates, we've built some magical things around that season, from our flag football team to our Air Force team to our journey together, and became brothers that no matter what, there's nothing that'll ever break up what we've experienced and what we've went through together. So I want to say thank you, because you were a key person in reminding me to believe in myself. Up to that age, you were a key person to remind me that there's still greatness within me. I just hadn't seen it and tapped into it yet. Not the coaches, not the teammates, that one brother, that one friend that I was practicing with, that we were going out there, we were keeping each other disciplined, we were keeping each other on point, we were reminding each other of the vision we had. We were submitting highlight tapes to NFL teams together that year. We were doing that. It was really important for us. That was a huge year. But I couldn't have done it without him. And I couldn't have done it without the people who supported me, encouraged me, and even more importantly, the people who doubted me. The people who didn't think I could ever grow out of that shell that I was as a chubby 9-year-old and succeed and do the things that I did. Thank you, because you pushed me. Thank you, because you encouraged me. Not in a good way. In the way that I said, I'm going to show you who I am. I am, I can, and I will. And that's why that's so important to me now. 78.6 FM, Positive Vibes. We'll be right back after this break. 78.6 FM, Positive Vibes of Winston. I got choked up, man, reliving that story. The 9-year-old and that 23-year-old moment coming full circle. I forgot about that. It's crazy when you're telling stories, right? You remember. That's why it's so important. I tell people to journal now, and especially the ones who have aspirations of writing books in the future. Journal, write these things down. That hit me. Man, I forgot how it felt to get up off that football field. And the dude took my head off. I ain't gonna lie to you. So, not literally, right? So, I catch a football, and as soon as I catch that ball, that dude came. Remember, we're all stars out here. I was just fast and small. So, that dude came and overcut me. I think when I saw the video, my body did almost a full flip. But when I landed in the end zone, I still had the ball. And so, there were no touchdowns up until that point. That was the only touchdown. I'll never forget that. Anyway. It sounded like one of those dudes from the TV shows talking about high school. But that was semi-pro ball from the 9-year-old chubby kid that was told he'll never be anything other than a lineman. Oh, man. So, limiting beliefs. And a lot of people, that last segment, I was supposed to be spending that time when I got into story mode talking about not allowing the opinions of others to keep you from being the best version of you. And I got into story mode, so forgive me. However, it's very important to understand that the opinions and beliefs that other people have should have no effect on the opinions and beliefs that you have on yourself. Because what you believe in your mind, what you believe is possible for you, is what you should be fighting for. And not all the feedback, all the opinions of others should be internalized and taken in as truth for you. Your truth is what you choose it to be. If you have a vision for yourself, a target for yourself, things that you know you can accomplish or you want to accomplish in your life, don't allow the opinions or beliefs of others to keep you from doing it. There are people right now that will tell me that coaching is not sustainable. And I love coaching, is what I love to do. And I love building other coaches. And when I talk about coaching, I'm not talking about sports. We're talking about leadership coaching, executive coaching, life coaching. Because I know that we're helping other people overcome and navigate things they can't do by themselves or on their own. I know that the 45 minutes to an hour I spend with someone is maybe changing and in some aspects saving a life. There's people that was like, why are you doing this radio show on Saturdays? You could be doing all this. Because I know there's a community that's listening and somebody might need to hear a story like this one. Might need to be encouraged, might need to hear that they're not bound tomorrow to be the same person that they were today, that growth is possible, that if you have a target for yourself, you can achieve it if you see it, if you believe it, if you fight for it. You see, there's nobody that can tell me from the outside externally how to navigate anymore. Because when you take your power back, when you take your life back, and you control what is within your control of your life, all of those things, you can be, do, or have anything you put your mind and your energy to. Anything. And let me say that again if you didn't hear me. If you fight for it, you can be, do, or have anything. Stop letting people out here tell you what you're capable of and show them what you're capable of. And before you worry about showing them, show yourself what you're capable of. It starts not just in places like these where I'm at right now, but it's ground zero when you're making that first initial plan, taking that first step, taking the second step, identifying what needs to be done and making those things happen, getting the support you need to make your vision, your dream, or your goal become a reality. No man is an island. We can't do these things by yourself. You need to pull in the people who are good for your mental health, good for your well-being, good for the vision that you have of yourself. And all the people who have beliefs, opinions, and thoughts that are away from the vision that you have for yourself, because you know that's what drives you, what your purpose and what your goal is for you. Start eliminating those people and giving them that same energy and opportunities to block you, to knock you off course. Stop allowing those same people to have that control in your life. Start removing those people. It's funny because I call it like an annual purge on Facebook where I just get rid of people. Hey, nope. I love it when people come to me. I had the one guy And this gentleman knows exactly why I removed him from my life. He literally first sent me an email, and his email was all over the place as to how he got to realizing that he got blocked on Facebook and any other social media that he was a part of my life. And then he asked me in person finally one day, and he said, "Hey, I realized that you blocked me on such and such sites." And I said, "Yeah, I sure did." With a smile, just like I'm doing right now. I sure did. No explanation, you don't owe them that. No excuses, you don't owe them that. Because people know when they've been removed from your life, why you remove those things that are toxic for you, that are not helping you grow and pushing you in the direction you're trying to go. People know when you say, "Hey, it's cool, but that's not for me." When you step away from those things that aren't good for your life, your well-being, your mental health, and where you're trying to get to. And I'm going to tell you why it's so important to learn how to block out the noise and keep those people, places, and things outside, away from you, and keep you from distracting you. Because what I spoke about at the very beginning of this show is your vision, your target, and your purpose. Your vision, your target, and your purpose. Put it all together if you can see it. And it's not blurry. It's right in front of you. I'm looking at this clock right now, so I'm going to treat it like it's a target. If I can see this clock and see clearly what I am trying to achieve in this target, what it looks like, how it's shaped, how I get there, I can reverse engineer the steps to get to that location, to that place right now that I want for me in my life. And if I do that with all of the things that are important to me, all the things that I care about, all the things that I want for my life, because I only get one, because I know that there's an expiration date, because I know that I only have one opportunity to live the life that I want. I only have one opportunity to be the best version of me. I only have one opportunity to grow and get to that level to where I can say and look back and say, I did that. I told you the story of the 9-year-old who saw the 23-year-old version of him and probably was looking at it and saying, "Thank you, because you fought for that, because you did everything you could to get there." Now I'm telling you from the young man who became a man and is looking at me right now and saying, "Thank you, because you're taking the steps, you're continuing to grow, you're still fighting for your tomorrow, you're not limiting yourself, you're not boxing yourself into any categories, you're trying to grow, you're trying to have as many experiences as you can. You're trying to live in as many communities as you can, and you're trying to pour into as many people as you can. Thank you." And for you, if you're listening, what is that for you? What does that target look like? Who are you trying to become? What do you need to do to get there? How do you reverse engineer these steps? What do you need to do to be that version of you? And what is blocking you and getting in your way and keeping you from achieving that? Get those people out of there that are blocking you and distracting you and telling you can't, and then allowing their limiting beliefs to roll over into what you believe. Stop. Get them out. Those things in your life that are keeping you from being the best version of you, those bad habits, get them out. Those places that you go that are distracting you from being that version of you, stop. Cut it out. Get to it. You see, because only you, when you take accountability and responsibility for your next steps, understand that those people that you surround yourself with matter. Because every one of those people contribute to those steps that you're taking in a good way or a bad way. Take accountability. Those habits that you make for yourself to get there matter. Make those habits count. Make those steps count. Make your days count. Make your moves count. Make every move, day, and step that you take from now on matter if you're trying to get to that target. Right now, your goal is to reverse engineer everything you need to do to get to that target that you see for yourself, that you have for yourself. And while I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself too, because I'm still fighting for that version of me, that chapter of me. I'm not there yet, and we are all a work in progress. 78.6 FM, Positive Vibes of Winsome. You are loved, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. See you next week.